So then, Dick or Henry, who do you want to be?
I am Dick. Richard is actually my real first name.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Richard Matthew Southworth. And he's kind of loosely based on my father, a little bit based on me. My father was an alcoholic. Dick is a serious alcoholic. There's a lot of personal stuff. But the thing is, and I'm not sure that if anybody would still be watching at this point. But if you're still watching, it should be actually really pretty intense and entertaining and vicious. It's not going to be a 300-page treatise on the destruction of American culture.
Right.
You should just only be able to see that I don't know, the cars get uglier as time goes by.
And well, I guess, are you looking at this as being a fixed issue run? I mean, are you looking to tell the story in 6 issues, or is this a world you think you're going to create and be able to perpetuate, or what's your goal?
Well, that's a really good question, and that's one that here's the truly honest answer about this is this: to make a living, I'm probably not going to be able to make a great living off of my story about singing creatures in the 1950s. Maybe I'll get lucky and maybe it'll hit huge, but most likely not. The way to make money as a comic artist is to draw superheroes that 100,000 people want to buy. Now, sometimes that changes. Scott Pilgrim is a great example.
Sure.
And I would love for that to happen, but I also love superheroes. Sure. I don't know why I so love them, but I do. And so I have two kind of ideas about that. On the one hand, it needs to be finite because I want to be able to tell this story and then tell other stories.
Right.
On the other hand, one of the things that's so appealing to me about Love and Rockets, which is one of my favorite comic books, is that if I'm able to write a story that takes place in 1987, and then he'll write a story that takes place in 2016, and then he'll go back to 1995, and then he'll go back to now, and he'll tell 5 issues of a story that's taking place in 2010. But then later on you'll realize there's a very important chunk of the story back in 1984 that you never heard.
Right.
And it creates this vastness and scope, and anything can be told. And we didn't skip that, we just haven't talked about it yet, And I love that. And I think serial comics are particularly designed for that.
Right.
I was just saying this to somebody. I don't understand why there haven't been Captain America, the World War II exploits of Captain America should have been coming out in drips and drabs for a long time because they don't affect anything. I mean, they already established that, he gets encased in a block of ice. So do whatever you want up to the block of ice.
Right.
And that to me gives everything more scope and more sweep and makes it more fun. So I'd like to be able to draw and write quickly enough that even as I'm doing my bag of Green Lantern meets Herbie that I can also do a little Loudermilk Brothers 10-page story here and there. But that's one of my big issues right now, that I have these huge overweening concepts that aren't as simple as 3 guys break into a bank and then they're stuck. How do they get out?
Well, how old are the Loudermilk Brothers in 1956? I mean, you were talking back to the Panda's work with Love and Rockets and how it could jump time. I mean, is it feasible that you could obviously go back before and explore some of Dick's past while he's gone and what led to it? But being on the arc, not knowing what's going on, it seems like there might be room in the future as well. So where are they at in 1956?
Well, in 1956, Dick is 40.
Okay.
And Henry is 36, 35. Maybe 35. I think it's going to be slightly. I have a younger brother who's 4 years younger, and some of this relates to our relationship. I think Henry may be 1 year younger than my son. Your brother's 36. And one of the things I've been leaving open for myself is when do I talk about where Dick has been for the last 10 years? Why did he disappear? What was he doing while he disappeared? What led to him going, I'm going back to get my share of the family, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And maybe I wind up exploring that in this main story that we're talking about, and then again, maybe I just get back to it. I'm sure. That's the fun thing about writing it, though. It's like I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. Well, and it seems, you know, you mentioned that you might not make all your money doing this, but the story, and this, I imagine, harkens back to your training in other disciplines, could very easily, in my mind, translate to a television series or a movie.
Right.
And even though you've stated, you know, you want to be a comics, what you're going to do, this is going to be your profession. It seems to me that were that to go, I assume you would want to take on the writing duties, directing.
Well, I would if I was good at it. You know, writing, all of this artwork for me is sort of alternately heartbreaking and exhilarating. I take it very personally when I do a bad page, and it slows me down and it wears me out. I mean, it literally wears me out. I get exhausted. My girlfriend can always tell when if I haven't drawn at all that day, she knows. So I don't want to do things poorly. I mean, nobody does, but so I guess the real answer to that is if I do it better than the other people that were writing the Mario Brothers movie or whatever, then I'd rather I did it poorly than they did.
Right.
But I'd also rather that I did it well. And I'm not sure, you know, I guess we'll see when it comes down. I mean, certainly watching everybody's hopes. I mean, it seems like when a movie comes out based on a comic in particular, it's almost like you finally got pregnant after crying for a long time. Everybody has such hopes for the baby, and then like you watch the experience with the Whiteout movie. That everybody was excited about the Whiteout movie. When it finally came out after being delayed and delayed and delayed, nobody was excited anymore, and the people who saw it were not very fond of it. And I didn't see it, so I can't comment on that. I can only comment on the fact that it just seems so sad, that people put such hopes in the translation to another medium, and the attrition rate is very high.
Right.
So I don't know what my point was.
Well, and it's a shame with comics that are just so deep. I mean, both Greg Rucka and Steve Lieber, amazing. I mean, not only Steve Lieber maybe the nicest man in comics, as well as just one of my favorite artists, but that book meant so much to me. In fact, it was the first book that my wife actually read and said, "Oh, I see that comics aren't just for kids."
Right.
And I also
now I guess something about you, my husband.
Right.
I understand something. That's an important, for real personal moments.
Right. And I also have not seen the movie. I had heard of the movie, but I also have not seen it just because I have such a fondness for that work and a fondness for the creators.
Right.
And it was almost like you don't want to see that taken away.
Exactly. I mean, that was the thing. And we've seen the experiment of a movie being as faithful to the comic as possible. Very minor revisions in the case of Watchmen. Yes, the ending's a little different, but come on. I mean, they're literally panels out of the book done with seemingly unlimited budget. Right. And I really like the Watchmen movie. And I don't care if it's not as good as the book or better than the book or whatever. It's not the book. But I didn't need the Watchmen movie to exist. In the same way I don't need the Whiteout movie. I don't feel like Batman Year One is inconvenient because I haven't seen it real good. I haven't again. So I would love to see Batman Year One. Sure. If it was really good, that'd be great. If it wasn't really good, I'd write it off just like I wrote off so many other bad superhero movies. But yeah, I financially, I'd love to be involved. Creatively, I'd love to be involved. A really satisfying film. There are a few things that are as satisfying to me. I love a movie with maybe real fanatic about movies. Unhelpfully.
Well, the con is starting to retreat on us. So
Well,
or
it's been an
perhaps we
armored
retreat
guy
on-
and belly dancers. It's been all boobs and broadswords for the past 15 minutes.
I know, it's been difficult. But, so I'd like to just say, come down to Portland next time.
Yeah.
Can we go around and I'll show you some of the seedier parts of it that I know, and we'll go on a little tour.
I'll be coming down soon. I'll start the second arc of something. Finally finishing number 4. You know, in the self-promotion department here, or the self-promotion department here in Stumptown is intended as 4-issue arcs. The first arc's almost done. The second arc we're starting, and will come out on a regular basis. That's a guarantee. It will come out on a regular basis. As soon as I said that was a guarantee, I was just like, oh, we'll just hang yourself now.
You heard it here.
Yeah, that's right. You know, fledgling cartoonist, failed screenwriter, author, musician, commits suicide after making an idiotic prediction. But I'm going to be starting that very soon, like within the next few weeks. And I have to go to Portland to get all kinds of references.
Right.
So I will.
All right.
I'll take you up on it.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Matt,
Thank you very much.
It's been a real pleasure, man. Thank you.
It's been a great pleasure. Thanks very much, everyone there.